R.I.P. John Prescott. If only he'd been around at the farmers' protest, we could have seen a proper scrap. I'm Harriet Langley Swindon, and this is Non-Censored. Hello and welcome to Non-Censored, the podcast that wraps up all the best bits from my very real daily radio show into one easy-to-digest highlights package. I'm joined as ever by my producer, Martin, and what a show we have for you this week, eh, Martin?
Oh, yes, indeed. We spoke to a farmer about why she went on the protest earlier this week. The Telegraph's Siobhan Connery tells us about the social media website Blue Sky. And Eshaan Akbar joins us to look at the Charity Commission's investigation into Sir Captain Sir Tom Sir Moore's book deal.
But as ever, there was so much in our weekly show that we couldn't include in this Highlights podcast. For example, our in-depth feature about the International Criminal Court issuing arrest warrants for both the Prime Minister of Israel and the leader of Hamas. Why didn't we include that in the podcast, Martin?
No reason?
No reason?
No reason.
Fair enough. We also had an interview with the chair of Children in Need, who resigned because she was unhappy with grants given to an LGBTQ organisation. Why did we include that in the podcast?
No reason.
No reason?
No reason.
Oh, fair enough. So instead, we'll start with the farmers' protests. Earlier this week, we saw a demonstration of the great British tradition of public protest against powers that be, and God bless them for taking a stand.
Yes, whether it's farmers unhappy with the change in inheritance laws or environmental activists, the right to march.
No, Martin. No, not that second lot. They should be in prison. Anyway, we were joined by one of the people who was in Westminster to protest against the government. Let's take a listen. Well, I am delighted to be joined by a random woman we met at the farmers' protest. Hello, random woman. Thank you for coming to on the show.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us why you went on that march?
I am so angry. Our civil liberties are being taken away. Our money's been taken away. Rachel Reeves has lied on a CV.
Yes.
I don't know what a GCSEs are.
Yes.
And it's farming's being destroyed.
Yeah.
Keir Starmer hates farmers.
I mean, that's the thing. Do you see your livelihood being endangered here?
Absolutely. My farm is going to be taken away. And that's really, really scary. It's, if my farm's taken away, I'll have to move to the south of France. All of us will. It's really scary times for farmers.
Well, they're not actually saying that they are going to take your farms away, though. I mean, that's something we should clear up. It's just a slight increase in the taxation scheme in order to help raise some capital and to sort of close a loophole on inheritance. Avoidance schemes, as far as I'm aware.
No, every farm over 3 million, which is every farm that exists, at least my farm's, it is Wiltshire, so that's all farms. Every farm over 3 million will be charged inheritance tax. That's too much. We'll just have to leave and we'll all have to just pack up. That's what look, you're probably a townie, but if you're from farming stock, that's how this works. Okay, it's a farming thing.
And whereabouts in Wiltshire is your farm?
Oh, it's Wiltshire. It's all of Wiltshire.
It's all of Wiltshire.
Yes,
the whole of Wiltshire.
It's a big farm. Again, I don't think you understand farming, but I will say this: my farm.
You own the henge.
Yes, thank you. My farm has been in my family for generation.
Oh. Yeah.
Generation. How many generations was that? Sorry?
That's just the one. But if this inheritance tax wasn't coming in, I'd be able to give it to my child, not the one I don't like, but the one I really quite like.
Right,
probably.
Okay.
And if you just think that farm, random woman, has been in your generation for your generation, yet you can't pass it on.
Thank you, Harriet.
That's just absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
If Keir Starmer was on the show today, what would you say to him?
I would say, don't fill my farm with paedophiles, because honestly, like, farms are meant to be filled with cows and the other things that the people on my farm fill them with, I think.
Yes.
But he has released all the paedophiles into the farm. And that is not where paedophiles should go.
Also, who knows what they'll do to the cows?
Well, only the young ones, Harriet.
Okay.
Actually, producer Martin,
Yes.
if you could just clip that bit and put it on the apps.
What are you gonna question it? Because I mean, Keir Starmer certainly isn't sending paedophiles to farms.
We don't need to do that, producer Martin. We just clip it. We need to get a few more listeners.
Right, you're just going to call it the controversy.
Put it on socials.
Gotcha. Okay.
So tell us more about those paedophiles.
Well, I will tell you, in terms of what Keir Starmer's done, besides ruining all the farms and releasing paedophiles and breaking civil liberties in half, Rachel Reeves has lied on her CV.
Wow.
And for me, that's the thing that's really going to destroy all the farms.
What she lied about?
Well, probably her GCSE results, but where she said that she worked as an economist, it was primarily administrative role after university.
That's pretty big. Producer Martin, put that on socials.
Well, no, but it's not. I mean, she still worked in an economic sort of sense, as far as I'm aware. I don't think it's great to just cut these things and put them out. I do agree with you to a certain extent, though. There's certainly a concern here about the impact that this new law will have on farmers and also on customers. I, for one, am a big fan of your work, maybe not you specifically, but in terms of the farmers' markets. I mean, wonderful quality goods. They're in a car park behind my local church. I can pick up, biltong, some fine cheeses, and even a small cake. And yeah, I'm paying over the odds, but you know what? It just feels good to be able to get a snack from someone that, actually knows the name of the pig that the bacon came from.
Producer Martin, I will tell you that farmers' markets are an intentional joke that farmers have against Londoners. It's a joke. I only supply everything on my farm to Asda. The thing that you've bought into, that's a fallacy. That's not real. It's like Rachel Reeves' CV. It's a lie. All of those things, they actually probably do come from Asda. That pig is not called Gerald and Geraldine. That's you're being laughed at. You're being mocked.
What do you not even have names for them? What do they have?
No. It's all that whole Kennington Farmers Market. That's a joke. We're laughing at you.
Numerical pigs.
Yes, they don't have names because you're going to kill them and eat them and then sell all their rashers to idiot Londoners who say things like, "Oh, I know the name of the person that sells me the piggy." No.
So you don't think that's true? And I mean, random woman, you're somebody who has been farming for a generation, so you do know these things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I would say that I'm not directly farming on my farm because of the size of it. And again, you probably don't know this, but all the equipment on the farm is worth millions of pounds. And that's why most farms will be over the inheritance tax threshold. But, there's terrifying men that work on my farm, all those sort of scary local white boys, they know about these things. And, I think they would say something probably quite insightful about it.
I do want to ask, when you talk about sort of how all farms are over the £3 million threshold, is that all in equipment then, or is that in sort of very pricey pigs?
No, firstly, it's the land.
Yeah.
And also a lot of this to do with Jeremy Clarkson, who we are forever indebted to.
Yeah.
But again, you just wouldn't understand because you're all from horrible cities, but land in the country is all worth millions. And then when you add the equipment on top and the cows and all of that, then it's just millions and millions. So everything will be over the threshold.
So how did you get into it? How did you get into farming?
Well, I saw a farm, Wiltshire, and I thought, I'll have that. And then I bought it with inheritance that I inherited. Don't get me started. But yeah, so that's how most people got into farming.
So you bought Wiltshire with money from your inheritance.
That's called farming, Harriet.
Right, that is farming. See?
Again, you just don't, I can see, if you don't mind me saying, that you clearly just don't know how it all works. Is that...
Well, I do know that it is an old tradition in this country that is beautiful and that we're all rightly a bit sentimental about. And, there's someone like yourself who's been getting sort of not farming as such, but getting inheritance through the generations to do things. And that is a beautiful British thing, I think.
It's a beautiful British thing. And I think when you sort of think of Victorian times and even pre-industrial revolution, you think about all these great traditions that hold all the farmers together. Like when they plug that scary sort of sucker cup machine onto all our cows and we put the hormones in it and we suck out all the milk. That's been going on for thousands and thousands of years.
And do you feel that this is going to impact other industries? For example, do you think there's going to be a decline in people wearing waxed Barber jackets and Hunter Wellington boots?
Do you know what? I hadn't even thought of that. And it's actually disgusting. It's just another one of the knock-on effects. I suppose it's another example of sort of civil liberties around wax barbers being impacted.
It is worth saying that both Jeremy Clarkson and Andrew Lloyd Webber appeared at the march wearing these things, although I'm not entirely convinced that they're out there doing much gardening themselves.
It's not gardening, it's farming, and exactly...
Yes, that's
it's a different
mistake.
World. It really,
And if you've been listening to this random woman, producer Martin,
thank you.
You'll have heard that actually farming isn't really about farming. It's about being elsewhere and getting scary men to farm for you.
Yes, and crucially, probably not paying the taxes when passing on an estate to a loved one. Yeah.
Because we didn't need to, because that wasn't the law. Because before Rachel Reeves, big liar, pants on fire, where your pants from, probably ASOS Lord Ali, before she came in and said that you'd have to have inheritance tax.
We can't just keep on, she can hear you when you say that. We really need to have these conversations off air.
No, I can't hear, and, when you two are talking, I'm just thinking about farming and maybe going back to the south of France.
Talking of the south of France, but before we end this interview, if you end up going to the south of France along with all the other farmers, will you still wear your barbers, I think? Will you still carry that bit of cultural identity with you?
That's such a lovely question. Thank you for asking that. I think absolutely, because in France, they value the gardeners and they call them something around the terre de vert. I think that's the colour of the Farrow and Ball paint. But you take my point, they respect them, and you don't respect farmers here.
What will you do if you're forced to pay tax?
If I have to pay inheritance tax on my farm, I will move to the south of France. But more importantly, I will follow that ancient tradition of all farmers, and I will burn the farm to the ground. I will burn every living thing on it to the ground, and I will salt the earth.
Will you burn all the animals as well?
Absolutely, wholesale. And if my children are on the farm, so be it. Burn it to the ground.
Oh, so you'll burn. They'll go too. That will get rid of the paedophiles, if anything else.
Again, it's a farm. You probably don't understand because it's a great farming tradition, and I will salt it.
Okay, and and on that bombshell. Because that's what Jeremy Clarkson says, isn't it? He'll end. Someone will say something horrific, and then he'll do that. Anyway, it's been wonderful talking to you, woman on the street, and good luck with your tax avoidance. I think you'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
This week, the social media upstart Blue Sky passed 20 million users.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Wonderful, Martin? What's wonderful about it?
Well, it's fun. And there aren't loads of adverts and porn bots and Nazis.
Fun, Martin? People don't go to social media for fun. They go on to have their views challenged and debated. For example, if you said, "It's a nice day," then I would be duty-bound to say, "Actually, it's raining where I am." Views challenged.
Right. And what about you? Do you like your views being challenged?
Why would I need my correct opinions nitpicked by trolls, Martin? Anyway, for more on this, we were joined by Telegraph's northern correspondent, Siobhan Connery. Let's take a listen. Siobhan, It's good to speak to you. I've been looking forward to hearing your opinion on this.
Thank you, Harriet. It's so lovely to talk to you again. It's been a while. So I see it's all change.
It's all change. It's all change. Look, we converse in real life. We converse on Twitter. But I know that you have been, purely, of course, because you're a journalist and you've been investigating Blue Sky.
Yes, I have. I've been over on Blue Sky. I've been sending out tweets to everybody who I have seen, just, asking questions on there, trying to find out what the buzz is.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a dying website. It is absolutely a dying website. It feels like the last days of MySpace over there right now. There is nobody on there. Nobody. People are leaving. I'm turning up, I'm asking them questions, and then I can't find them anymore. They're just leaving. So it would appear that everybody on there is deactivating their accounts. So I think there's about 7 or 8 active users on there currently.
Oh my goodness.
So I think this whole thing is incredibly overblown.
Yeah, it's interesting because the reports are that we're getting is that there's about 20 million users, and they're adding just under 1 million a day in recent days.
No, that can't be right. That can't be right. Hang on, let me get my phone.
Where are you getting your source from, Producer Martin?
Yeah, exactly. Look, here I am. I've gone into Blue Sky.
There's a
I'm
user counter
searching.
that's available to see.
Which user is it that has the number of followers? Which is it that says the amount of people on this site?
There's a Blue Sky user.
Blue Sky user. Yeah, no, there is no account. You can't just make these things up, Martin. There is no account which says Blue Sky user.
Okay.
I'm sure it is here. I can't find it at all.
Yeah, it's been forwarded by a lot of people. I mean, even Hourly Red Pandas. That's
right. Hourly Red Pandas. I do know them. I do know them because I was talking to them the other day. They showed a panda, and I was asking if it was male or female because those are the only 2 options, as we all know.
Right.
No, they don't exist either. They have clearly deleted their account. They've deleted their account after that question. So
okay.
I think we can all see exactly where they stand with that.
What a dying medium.
It is. It's absolutely dying. Everyone will be back on X, the everything app.
Well, do you know what? Good, because I think it's absolutely abominable that people are leaving. What about the people who paid for our blue ticks, okay? We paid for our free speech. We paid for engagement. If you're leaving the conversation, you're violating my free speech. And you can't go onto these Blue Skies or these Threads or Mastodons I think those people should be fined and possibly put in prison in some cases.
Well, Harriet,
I don't think people should go to prison for what they tweet, but I do think people should go to prison for what they don't tweet.
Right. Okay.
I think it is only reasonable that we should all, this is supposed to be the global town square. We can't all have different global town squares. Like what? Are we all supposed to have our own different countries? No. This is the way that we're moving forward.
Also, Siobhan, if you think back into medieval times, the people that didn't go into the town square were the recluses, who often turned out to be witches and had to be burned alive. And it's the same kind of thing that those are today's, Blue Sky users.
And what is the point of having a town square if you don't have stocks in the centre of it?
Yeah,
to go and show up to people whose opinions are abhorrent. That is what we should be.
Fruit. Yes.
That is what we should be aiming for. That is what we need to be doing with these things, and get away from these echo chambers.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I agree that pelting people...
I only want to hear free thinkers.
Sure, pelting people with rotten tomatoes is fun. Perhaps it's easier if you think about it as people haven't exactly left the town square. They've just gone to the pub and you haven't been invited. Everyone likes the pub.
That sounds unbelievable. Everybody always invites me to the pub. I'm a journalist for the Telegraph. I spend 90% of my waking hours in the pub.
Right, but maybe it's just a birthday party that you don't know anyone there and they don't want you there also, because it's just not that vibe. It's different vibe.
No, that doesn't sound plausible. You're stretching the metaphor too far there, Martin.
Wait, Siobhan, maybe if it's taking producer Martin's rather terrible analogy,
Awful.
what if it's a birthday party full of stupid snowflakes?
Then they would probably welcome me there, asking them the hard questions, because that is what they really want. Obviously,
Snowflakes, they're afraid of questions. And maybe there's a problem. Maybe Blue Sky is full of little snowflakes who can't bear to be asked anything.
They need toughening up. That is what's going on.
Toughening up. They need to come back to X.
The Everything app. Yes, they do. Why would it be the Everything app if there wasn't everything there that is that is needed? It is the only place you really need to be on, other than obviously the Telegraph online. But you can get there from there.
Is the Telegraph on Blue Sky yet, Siobhan?
Yes, we are. We have all 7 of the users following us.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
So, we're probably the most successful account on that site.
That's really wonderful. So you don't think that Blue Sky is going to last? It's not a threat to X, the Everything app?
Well, no, I don't think it is. And I don't think it'll last yet, unless Elon buys it.
Maybe he should.
Maybe he should. I think that would make for great competition. 2 apps run by Elon.
Yes.
That would really go and give them some sort of competitive edge, because at the moment they're just not competing. And I think that is why Blue Sky is destined to fail into obscurity.
Producer Martin, I'm not on Blue Sky because I think it's disgusting, but Producer Martin is also on Blue Sky.
Yes.
How are you finding it, Producer Martin? You're a snowflake.
Well, thank you. I was just going to say, Siobhan, I tell you what, I'm on Blue Sky and I will give you a follow. Because if anything, I've got too many followers at the moment. It's kind of mad. Since I joined, it's just been lovely. No, I mean, try 5,000. Yeah, it's mad. It's just gone bananas in here.
Martin, there is no need to lie to me. I feel like you're pulling my leg, but we know there are, like I said, searching through this, I can see maximum 7 accounts on there.
Well, I mean, if you go on, at Producer Martin.
At Producer Martin.
You'll see, I'm doing some serious numbers.
.bluesky.social.
It's not all about the reskeets. It's about just the memories that we make along the way. I mean, I was having such a lovely, fun back and forth with some friends from my old college radio, and it really is it's a lovely time to be alive. I think
Martin,
in a way, it's
Martin. Yes. Why does it look like it does? It does say that you have 5,000 followers, but why does it look like you're talking to yourself?
Oh, they're not. Yeah, the replies aren't showing up for you.
No.
Well, I tell you what, Siobhan, it's not a problem.
Yes. Yeah. No, of course it's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. No, it's fine.
Siobhan,
it's fine. It's fine. I will do. I belong there. I definitely belong there.
And then if Producer Martin's X feed is anything to go by, it's just blurred pictures of his dogs anyway.
Yeah, his feed. It doesn't look fun. It's not the sort of thing I'd be into. It's not the sort of thing that I don't think any right-minded person would be into. It might be okay for the feeble-minded, but really not for any hale-hearty, young, patriotic people out there.
You can't just ask questions about a dog in a pond.
Yes.
It's fine. It's just, it's a place to share. Sometimes I think we've got to learn not always to go into the town square because we don't like what happens there. So maybe it's just another excuse to reach out, in real life.
Right. We've got to the point in the interview where Producer Martin is offering advice, which I think is always a good time to stop the interview. Siobhan, thank you.
He's like one of those motivational accounts that won't reply to me on Blue Sky, who have also deleted their account.
Wow. Doesn't that tell you everything? Well,
tells you
thank you for telling us about the dying Blue Sky.
Thank you, Harriet. A pleasure as always.
Now, if you are enjoying the show, please consider supporting us by subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/noncensored, where for just £5 a month, you'll get the show without adverts before anyone else, as well as videos of all our segments and exclusive bonus podcasts. Finally, you will have seen the Charity Commission's investigation into Sir Captain Sir Tom Sir Moore's book deal, which was dismissed by Sir Captain Sir Tom Sir Moore's family as unfair and unjust. To rate this non-apology, we were joined by Eshaan Akbar for another edition of Non-Apology Watch. Let's take a listen.
I'm so not sorry that it's made me feel sorry for the not apology I'm sorry about. So I'm sorry not sorry that the not nature of the sorry isn't sorry enough. Or not. Not.
Hello, Eshaan Akbar.
Hello, Harriet. How are you?
I am very well, thank you, though it's got rather cold. So I'm having to switch on all the heaters and sometimes just sit in the stables as that's the warmest bit of the house.
Yes, well, I mean, it is. It has suddenly gone incredibly chilly, but I have to say, every time I speak to you, Harriet, I feel all warm inside.
Harriet, you could just pop on those gloves that I made you, the knitted gloves that I gave you for Christmas last year. You've still got those, haven't you? Must be knocking around somewhere. I know it's not quite Christmas time yet, but still warm.
But sorry, Producer Martin, I thought that was a sort of knitted thing for putting one's chewing gum in when one spits it out.
No, it was actually quite expensive, sort of llama.
Why did you not? Did you make me anything last Christmas?
I made everyone the same thing. Yeah, everyone got gloves.
Oh, are those gloves?
It's unbelievable,
Oh,
right?
I've been using it as a kind of spice cozy.
That's
mad.
that's
How would that even
exciting.
be? Don't get no. Why is that exciting?
Producer Martin, isn't it wonderful that your present proved so versatile?
I don't know why I have to keep spices warm. They're like, I mean, innately they have a warmth to it doesn't.
Producer
make any
Martin,
sense.
it's his culture.
Well, I mean, it's just ras el hanout, which is a Middle Eastern spice. It's not.
Bless you.
not. Anyway, speaking of versatility, I've got a great story for you. So, we'll all be familiar, as you will, and listeners of this podcast, with the late, great Sir Captain Tom.
Yes.
A true
R.I.P.
R.I.P. A true British institution. Now, the family of Sir Captain Sir Tom Moore are being accused of damaging public trust in charities by refusing to donate any of the £1.4 million received from his book deal. Now, the non-apology watch is this. The family have come out and said that they have been treated unfairly and unjustly. And you know what, Harriet? I agree with them.
Yes.
This is a man who, in his hundreds, by the way, is generating so much income.
Well, okay, he's
This,
not.
to me,
It's
speaks to...
He's a
his
grifter,
hustle.
isn't he?
Yes, he's a hustler. He drives. You know, in the UK, we decry success and power and wealth. Not like in America. Elon Musk, hustler. Sir
Yes.
Captain Tom, hustler.
Okay, I should flag up. You are using the present tense. I mean, he's not around. These are
No.
posthumous hustles.
But his
that he's-
legacy of hustling should live on in Britain, because Britain,
Right.
given that we're in an economic quagmire, we need people like Captain Sir Tom Moore, the essence of him, because his hustle helped him raise £1.4 million in just book deals. He can raise money. We need people who can raise money. So I'm glad that they haven't apologised. They should be celebrating this man.
Yes.
This man is brilliant.
Well, Eshaan, I think on the flip side, you've got to recognise that a lot of people would have bought those books thinking that the money was going straight to charity and that the integrity of Sir Captain Tom it has been somewhat called into question by their actions.
Can I just say something? Charity starts at home.
Yes. Thank you. Let me ask you this, Producer Martin.
Yes?
Have you ever donated to charity?
Yes.
Right. Does every penny of income that you earn ever since you donated to that charity go to that charity?
What do I give all of my money to charity?
Yes.
No, that would be absurd.
Exactly. So Captain Tom Moore, he did one bit of charity, and what? Now every bit of income he ever earns or his family earns has to go to charity. That's not how it works.
Well, I think it's ghastly that he had to give any money to charity, to be honest. That poor man worked so hard for his family.
Yes.
And then suddenly was having to pay the NHS.
Yes,
Greedy
that's
NHS.
That's his actual blood family. We can't just claim we're his family because we see a bit of ourselves in him.
Yes, charity starts at home and ends there too.
Right, I think
That's
there's
the
some
whole
slight
quote.
confusion here, because if you say you're doing something for charity, then that's the point where you agree that action you've decided to do is.
He didn't
charity.
know producer Martin. He was 100. He didn't know what he was
100
saying.
years old.
Right, so we think that
maybe he was
maybe
doing charity for his family. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's just the words.
Maybe he literally was just going for a walk and everyone just misinterpreted the whole thing.
Yes, precisely. And suddenly created this whole world around him, and suddenly now his family having to pay the price for it, which they shouldn't. Absolutely not.
Right. Okay. So we've got, in your eyes, a hustler who
Yes.
Every day he was hustling.
Being hustled.
Every day he'd be hustling.
But, I understand it, but I would counter that with, don't hate the player, hate the game. And this is the game coming back to say, listen, hustler, you getting hustled.
What are you talking about?
Well, there is now them. The hustler has become the hustlee.
Right.
The hust.
Do you think there'll be any more Captain Tom books? Because it would be sad if that stopped because of all of
Well,
this
it
hoo-ha.
would definitely need some sort of ghostwriter, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Oh, Eshaan, it always
Really?
takes me a moment, but it's so good when it happens.
I don't think that. I mean, he's had 3 books out, which is pretty good for anyone, and that's only the 3 that we know of course. He may have been
Exactly.
writing
He
under a
could be
different
modern-day
pen name.
Shakespeare.
Well, I'm not sure if he was quite that old, but he could certainly have been another popular author, like R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did all the Goosebumps. That could have been him. That would have fit in the Time Is Around. Or Jilly Cooper.
Yeah. Katie Price.
Yeah, we're just sort of naming other people that definitely exist, though, aren't we?
Oh, yes.
Now, there's probably not. I mean, 3 books is a lot.
Here's the other thing. Between 20 and 2021, Captain Sir Tom acted as a judge for the Virgin Media Local Legends Awards and was personally paid £10,000. And the following year, his daughter was approached to be a judge. She signed an ambassador agreement, and she was paid £18,000.
What?
But what do they want? Do they want the money to be donated or given away? Are these people not supposed to live?
Well, also, they've made a rather good business. I mean, they've made a good Captain Tom business.
Yes.
And I thought in this country we were supposed to applaud that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I would say in the last few years, there are certain brands that speak Britain. So Captain Tom, Jaguar. It's a good one.
That's the main 2, isn't it? That's the big. That's the big 2 there. that
Captain
scream
Tom and
Britain.
Jaguar.
And Rolls-Royce, maybe? Or Land Rover?
Yeah, question mark after that one, but mainly
Jeremy
the
Clarkson.
big 2.
He's a brand.
Yeah.
See? So we should be celebrating these
Controversial
people.
there, Eshaan. Controversial.
Yeah, these are all brands. When you think of Britain, if you're in a rural part of Africa or China and you think Britain, you think so Captain Tom, Jaguar, Jeremy Clarkson.
Will you, Harriet, or you, Eshaan, be giving any more money to Sir Captain Tom's endeavours in the light of this, the money not going to charity?
Well, there are no more endeavours. He's dead.
Yeah, he's done it now, producer Martin. He's past the finish line. He's off with the angels now.
Yeah, but the things that he's, people making money off his name. The charity.
No, I will not. I don't believe in charity. Disgusting.
And also, people make money off people's names all the time. God? People make money off God all the time. God's been around forever. Goats? People call themselves goats all the time. Ronaldo. Who's paying the goats?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Like, people keep saying Messi is the GOAT, Ronaldo is the GOAT. But what about the actual GOAT? No one's paying the actual GOAT, are they?
Oh, you mean like the trademarks? The goat doesn't get many for... Well, it's a goat.
Yeah. Which goat? Which goat are we talking about?
I don't know. I've lost track of what's happening. I feel much like Captain Tom probably felt as he went round that garden again and again and forgot what he was doing it for.
Yeah, maybe you go for a walk, freshen up a bit, and then maybe people will join on the bandwagon and think that you're raising money for some cause.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you both.
Like
here.
Forrest Gump.
No, Harriet, I don't often do this, but I need to put my foot down. Captain Tom never forgot what he was doing. Every single step that he took, he knew exactly what he was doing, and he was doing it for all of us. He was doing it for Britain. And I think it's about time that people remembered that.
You'd be a bit irritated, though, wouldn't you, Producer Martin, if your father was going round the garden, raising all this money for NHS, and then you thought, but I could just, if I just had a little bit of it, I could get that swimming pool that I so desperately need.
I mean, yes, okay, obviously we all want swimming pools.
Especially when you've been asking for a swimming pool for ages, and suddenly he just goes for a walk at the age of 100, but now you're not even able to swim anymore because you're in your 50s.
So rude. It's so rude. I mean, when you think of it like that, Captain Tom is a bit of a villain, really.
He is, actually.
He couldn't provide a swimming pool for his own daughter, but instead was willing to walk to give money to the NHS.
Exactly. As Harriet said, charity begins at home.
Yep.
I'm on the family side. Don't apologise. You're right.
Well done, Captain Tom's daughter. We believe in you.
Yeah, I believe in you. You're correct.
Send out some non-censored merch to them then, shall I?
No, Producer Martin, you can't just give away merch like that. Well, that's it for now. We'll be back next week. So in the meantime, like, subscribe, tell your friends, follow the Out of Context Non-Censored Blue Sky account, and remember that there's loads of stuff on our Patreon. patreon.com/noncensored. So if you enjoy the show, please do support us if you can. With thanks to Rosie Holt, Brendan Murphy, Eshaan Akbar, Davina Bentley, Bethany Black, and Ed Morrish. I'm Harriet Langley Swindon, and we'll be back next week with more Non-Censored.